Hello, welcome to HHP 515. I'm really excited to get this course rolling. As I mentioned in the email, this is the second time I've taught the course, and this isn't really an introduction video. I already have that up, but this is more just some comments on some things related to the course that, after having taught the course once, I think might be kind of helpful for me to kind of emphasize or make sure that you're aware of. Um, the first one is just that, ethics in sport is really an interesting topic to me. I hope it will be to you. It is just so pervasive in sports today because there's so many ethical situations. And I know that pretty much all of you are coaches, and there's going to be really direct application from this class into what you do, and that makes it fun for me too. And I'm a coach, so I find a lot of application for myself as well. It's constantly in the news. If you think about, I just think about things recently like Major League Baseball's unwritten rules, throwing at batters, COVID, and ethical um, dilemmas created by that with whether you play sports or not. Um, just all kinds of relevant things out there related to this. Just wanted to talk a little bit about the main modes of learning for this class. One of them is definitely the readings and the discussion. And one thing that I kind of learned from the first time is that the readings can be pretty heavy sometimes. So, just I guess a little piece of advice right out of the gate is to make sure you give yourself time to read through them. Some of them are going to take work. I'm just going to be straightforward with you there. Some of them are much easier to read than others, but they can get pretty philosophical. And even though that can be difficult, I think it's valuable to kind of stretch yourself a little bit and kind of dig into those readings. So that's the first thing. Just make sure that you give yourself the time to do that, because you might look at it and say, oh, 20 pages, but you might have to read some of them a couple times or at least parts to really gain a grasp at what the people are talking about. And even then, on some of them, you're probably not going to totally grasp it, and that's okay. But I would encourage you to put the work in, and a lot of them are much easier and much more easy to read. But there's a few that are pretty. You got to slog through them, kind of. At least I do. Um, Also, the discussion board each week is a really important part of the course. Of course, if you look through the syllabus, you can see that it's a big part of the points. So make sure that you regularly participate, and that's really the key. I think there's a rubric for what I'm looking for, but just to be straightforward with you, I think great participation is going to equal a great grade when it comes to the discussion board, and you'll get way more out of it too. One thing I did learn from the last time is it does get a little redundant doing the discussions. So one thing I'm probably going to try to incorporate is a couple times doing Zoom discussions instead of the discussion board. I don't have that currently in the course, but I am planning to, um, at some point when it kind of seems like we're ready for things being changed up a little bit, I'm going to say, hey, let's see if we can get together for a Zoom. I'm not sure how that's going to work because I know the last time I taught this class, we had 20 people and everybody had a job, and many of them were coaches, so that can be kind of tricky. But um, I'm going to try to find a time because I think it would be fun to do at least, one or two uh, discussions. And yeah, over the past 6 months, I'd have to say that I'm a little zoomed out. So maybe that's not thrilling either, but I think it's worth at least giving it a try. Um, yeah, this is a participatory class, so make sure make sure you get in there. And that's like I said, the reading and the discussion is a big part of the learning in this class. Another thing I wanted to really emphasize straight out of the gate is a major assignment in the class is the review of literature. And what I'm looking for there is really a well-written graduate level paper. And I'm not sure how many of them you've been required to write so far in your grad program. It probably varies, but um, I would encourage you right away, maybe even this weekend before the class starts, to click on that link to the review of literature off the front page there and look at the sample paper, because that's what I really want the paper to look like, and look at the rubric. Um, there's also some stuff on the OWL that's linked in there in the resources. The Purdue OWL has all kinds of information on how to write um, a review of literature. And in some courses you've taken, you might have used MLA. We'll use APA because that's generally what's used in the field of physical education and health. So yeah, that's just basically what I wanted to let you know. Looking forward to getting to know all of you and watching your intro videos. Um, and we'll see you next week.